positive thinking worked by itself, we'd all be billionaires with six-pack abs. Seriously, we just wake up, stare in the mirror, say, I'm rich, I'm ripped, I'm radiant, and boom, instant success. But that's not how it works, right? You've probably tried saying things like, I'm confident, or money flows to me easily, or I am calm and centered, while the brain's in the back going, yeah, sure you are, pal. And that's why so many people feel frustrated with positive thinking, because you can say the words all you want, but if the subconscious isn't on board, nothing changes. Your mind's like an employee that pretends to agree during the meeting and then ignores every instruction the moment you leave the room. So today, I want to unpack why positive thinking by itself doesn't actually work. But more importantly, I want to show you the one shift that makes it work, because once you understand this, you can actually rewire what's underneath the surface. All right, let's get honest. You can't outtalk your subconscious. You can't just wallpaper affirmations over a foundation of fear. If deep down you believe I'm not good enough, then saying I'm amazing 50 times a day just makes your subconscious raise an eyebrow and go, since when? See, your subconscious doesn't care about your words. It cares about your beliefs. And it measures your beliefs not by what you say, but by what you feel. Think of it this way. Imagine your subconscious mind is like the motivational speaker on stage, full of energy and positivity, shouting, we can do this. And your subconscious is sitting in the back row with its arms crossed, muttering, we've tried this before and it didn't work. Until those two parts of you start speaking the same language, nothing sticks. I remember years ago, I was trying to change my money mindset. I had these affirmations written everywhere, sticky notes on the fridge, the mirror, even the car dashboard. I'd say things like, I'm financially abundant, while driving to work in a car that was coughing like it was on life support. And the funny thing is, every time I said the words, my subconscious basically laughed, because deep down, I didn't believe it. I still felt undeserving. I still felt like money was for other people. So my affirmations didn't make me richer, they made me tired. It's kind of like putting a fresh coat of paint over a cracked wall. Looks nice for 5 minutes, but the cracks eventually show through. That's what happens when we use positive thinking as a cover-up instead of a tool for alignment. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because it can work, just not the way most people think. See, positive thinking isn't meant to erase the negative, it's meant to redirect the energy, but it only works if you deal with the part of you that's arguing back. Let's say you tell yourself, I'm lovable, and your subconscious goes, nope, people always leave you. That voice isn't your enemy, it's a recording. It's an old program that got installed by experiences, people, moments, maybe even long before you can remember. When I work with clients, one of the most common things I hear is, Daniel, I've tried everything, affirmations, journaling, gratitude lists, and I still feel stuck. And the reason is always the same. They're trying to build new beliefs on top of old ones that haven't been cleared out yet. You can't plant flowers in soil full of weeds. You gotta pull out the old stuff first. So the real work isn't just saying positive things, it's feeling safe believing them. Let me repeat that because it's huge. You don't have to force yourself to believe something instantly. You just have to make it feel safe to believe it. For example, if you say, I'm confident, and your subconscious says, yeah, right, you can soften it by saying, I'm open to feeling more confident. That's believable. That's safe. It's not an argument, it's a bridge. And once your subconscious stops resisting, you can actually start to change the story. Another little secret. The subconscious learns through emotion and repetition. So instead of flatly saying, I'm successful, say it while picturing what that feels like. Let your mind see it, hear it, feel it. Because the brain can't tell the difference between real and vividly imagined. That's why when you think about biting into a lemon, you actually salivate. You didn't eat a lemon, your brain just believed you did. So if your mind can make your mouth water from imagination, imagine what it can do with belief. And here's something I learned from my own experience. I used to tell myself everything's fine when it wasn't. And that kind of fake positivity actually made things worse because deep down it felt dishonest. The truth was, I didn't need to say everything's fine. I needed to say I'm struggling right now, but I'm learning to handle it differently. That kind of honesty is positive because it creates space for real change. That's when your subconscious says, okay, I can work with that. Sometimes we confuse positivity with denial, but denial doesn't heal anything, it just hides it. Real positivity doesn't ignore the pain. It sits with it and says, we can do better. And when you start doing that, when you start combining truth with intention, your mind starts to believe you. You can't lie to your subconscious, but you can lead it. Here's how you do it. You start small. Instead of saying, I'm totally healed, say, I'm healing. Instead of, I'm confident, you say, I'm learning to trust myself. You meet yourself where you are and build from there. Your subconscious needs proof, not poetry. And the proof comes from little consistent actions that match your words. You say, I'm confident, then you do one small thing that a confident person would do. That's how the subconscious starts going, oh, I see it, I believe it. That's how change becomes real. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're working on self-worth. You can repeat, I'm worthy, all you want, but if you keep saying yes to people who treat you poorly, your subconscious will believe the behavior, not the words. So the most powerful affirmation is sometimes not what you say, it's what you stop tolerating. That's when your subconscious finally gets the memo. Ah, this person's serious. Now, if you've ever felt like positive thinking is useless, I get it. But the truth is, it's not the thinking that's wrong, it's the missing ingredient, alignment. The moment you start aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions, your affirmations become commands instead of empty words. And when that happens, you don't have to force belief. You start to feel it naturally. You might wake up one day and realize you didn't have to repeat I'm enough 50 times anymore because you just know it. That's when positive thinking stops being a chore and starts being your reality. And look, this isn't about being perfect or pretending life is easy. It's about understanding that your subconscious runs about 95% of the show. So if you're trying to change your life using only the 5% that's conscious, you're underpowered. You've got a whole machine beneath the surface waiting to be programmed differently. And the moment you stop fighting it and start working with it, everything shifts. You'll still have challenges, but you'll approach them differently. You'll catch yourself before the spiral. You'll hear that old voice that says you can't and think, actually, maybe I can. And that little maybe, that's the doorway. Because positive thinking doesn't work unless you do. Not in the exhausting way, but in the honest way. It's not about forcing happiness. It's about creating space with where you are and choosing to believe something new anyway. You don't have to smile through the pain. You just have to know it's not the end of the story. And when you know that, when you really know that, your subconscious starts believing it too. And that's when life begins to shift in ways that look almost magical. So if you've been frustrated that your affirmations aren't working, don't throw them out. Keep them. But add truth to them. Add emotion. Add evidence. And watch what happens. Because when your words and your beliefs finally line up, you don't have to fake positivity anymore. You become it. And that, my friend, is when everything changes. So if this message resonated, share it with someone who's been trying to think positive but keeps feeling stuck. Let's help them realize it's not about saying it louder, it's about believing it deeper. And if you're ready to start changing those subconscious patterns that have been holding you back, that's literally what I help people do every single day. You can reach out, we'll talk about it. And no, you don't need a vision board full of Ferraris to start. You just need a brain, a little honesty, and the courage to see what's really been running the show. Because when you change that, the affirmations start coming true on their own.